Jazz.
How you doing? How you doing?
This is Jazz West, and she is one of Milwaukee's hidden jewels. And I think she likes it that way.
I do.
I think she likes it that way.
Yeah.
So since you're a hidden jewel, Miss Jazz West, I want you to tell people what you do.
Ooh, what don't I do? I do everything art. Whatever you think it, I can create it. Paintings, drawings, designs, graphic design, tech designs, yeah.
What has been your most amazing art moment? That's right, you take a deep breath for that one, baby.
The best?
The best.
The best when I'm able to do live art, live painting, and people can watch me and say, and they can watch me doing art and say, did you do that? Yeah, you see me doing it, yes. Yes, ma'am, yes, sir. And people, you know, can have that experience with me because they're not just experiencing, I'm experiencing it too because it's coming off the top of my head.
Okay, so what she just told y'all is that she's like a live artist. So what Jazz does, one of the many things that she does or how she expresses her art is that she does live portraiture work. Mm-hmm. So that means like you'll be in a space doing whatever you're doing and Jazz will have her easel and she'll have her tools and she'll just be like making art on the spot off of whatever inspires her in the space, whoever, you know, whatever structure that she finds, you know, exciting at that time, she'll create an art on the spot. So like, that's what she's referring to. And I really, grateful that she decided to say yes to us today because that is an art form you really don't see very often. But it is such a joy to be in the presence of art while it's being created in that format. Because a lot of times, you know, it's like when you go to see a dance show, you know they've rehearsed beforehand and then you get to see the finished product. But with like art, you know, like artwork, like canvases, it's always like a finality to it. You just see the finished product and you don't even really too much try to delve into the process behind it. And you never expect to be a part of that experience. But I think it's so cool that like when you catch Jazz out, you can be a part of the art experience. Like if you're walking around sipping, you know, your little sip or, you know, talking, you come back around like every 5 minutes, every 3 minutes, every minute and a half, there's a different, you know, layer or element to the picture that's done. And so it's just a really, really cool thing. So how did you get into doing live art?
It came from an inspiration of Lyricist Sanctuary at UWM. And this had to have been in 2007. And I went and they were doing poetry. And there was an artist, a black guy, Locks. I forgot his name.
Amar?
Yes, Amar. He was doing live drawings on a projector. He was using markers. And every time somebody new came up and did a piece, he'll take the transfer off, wipe it off, and do another drawing. And I was like, wow. And it was projected on the side. And I was like, I want to do that. And for years and years and years, I never did that until in like 2014. A friend of mine, we were celebrating their birthday, and we went to Lucille's. I don't know if you know Lucille's.
The jazz bar.
Yeah, the piano bar. And so we went there for a birthday, and I was like, this place is a vibe here. And so every Wednesday, they'll have a live band, and the first time I went by myself, I just took my sketch pad, and then from then I'd go almost every Wednesday. And everybody just knew me as the girl that brought the notepad and wanted to see what I did at the end. So, and from then, my name got a little bit bigger and people asked me if I wanted to come and do live art at a party or something like that. And I was like, okay, but I don't know what I'm gonna do. And somebody was like, just wing it. And from then, that's what I've been doing. Just have that experience. It's an experience for me too. What am I gonna do? I have no idea. And by the time 10 minutes comes through, I'm just painting. Whatever I see. I put everything together. Everything I hear, smell, and taste, I put it all together and throw it on the canvas.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask you a special question here. Now, how do you think that experience that you had for taking, like, because prior to you doing live art, you were still an artist, correct?
Correct.
So that was a different aspect of your art that you hadn't explored, like doing it spontaneously on the spot for people.
Yes.
How do you think that translated into different areas of your life? Like, how did that move to do like public display spontaneity? How did that translate?
Define that question a little bit more.
How did it change how you operate in other areas of your life?
Oh, just learning to be comfortable enough to create from nothing. Like, sometimes I'll put random things in the bucket and I'm like, okay, I want to create something. So I just close my eyes, pick it. Okay, turquoise marker or Crayola crayon, and then I just create from that. Just how to be random. I'll look at a crack on the floor and like, how can I create something from that? Or a cloud in the sky, or maybe how the moon is looking. How can I create something from that randomly?
Okay, so this is interesting that you said that, because there are a couple of your pieces that just have like a sort of monochromatic tone. And I wondered, like, and when I saw them, I was like, okay, so she had a theme. My thought process automatically was, oh, you had a theme behind that piece to do that color. You just saying like, yo, I was in the bucket and I was like, yo, hey.
It could just come from, it can come from anything. It can come from your nails. It can come from your bracelet. It can come from my bracelet. It can come from my mole. Anything. You know, how can I create something from that little thing?
So you're just like in you decided to live in a constant state of inspiration.
Yeah, that's the best way. Once you start putting yourself in a box, that's when you get stressed. You know, you put your life in a box, and then you just live in that box. You know, so living randomly, safely randomly, you have more range. So that's what I'm learning, especially now in this whole COVID thing. You gotta have range to live, you know. So.
When did you, like, the first time you really felt like I'm out of the box? What was it like, out of the box moment, like?
2015, I actually felt like I was doing something when I was asked to create a mural, Milwaukee Superhero mural, which is off. They have it placed off 5 points where Keith, Atkinson, and third, what was that, Martin Luther King over there, those cross, and I have my murals over there. But also, yes, that was that. I did that in 2015. But prior to, one of the best things, there was a playground off of Palmer and Keith, and I created a superhero playground for those children, with the children in the neighborhood, and that was probably the most rewarding, because some of those kids never touched a paintbrush. And it was supposed to be a 2-week program. I did it with AWE, Artists Working in Education. Artists Working with Education. And it was a 2-week program. Those children got that project done within 3 days. So we had to figure out what else we're gonna do. But the kids did such a great job, and it was fun to work with them and the staff, everybody. So
how do you see yourself and your art in the community? What kind of impact do you want to have with your art on the community as a whole?
if anything, I want people to, especially those who have creativity, to understand that you don't have to bog yourself down with like a 9 to 5. You can also include your art. You can make money off of your art. You can make friends. You can network with your art. You can be free with your art. You know, especially kids and teenagers. Like, it's hard enough being under, you know, not having a job. You know, living at home. You know, you're a kid. You can't do much. You know, you got school. So you have to have some sort of freedom, artistic freedom. Utilize it. Even if you draw petals or something, or you cut out designs in paper, do that. You know, be free. Make financial standing for yourself with it. You can do it. It's kids making money off of their art everywhere. You can do it too. So don't just settle. Use your creativity to live. And don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to use your art. Yeah.
Okay, now, like, when you see your pieces, you do have a signature style. Like, you could look at your pieces, like for, you know, Ajamu's book, which I will let you plug right now.
Ajamu's Destined to Be Me, boys book and girls book. Check it out, ajamu.com. You can purchase it on his website, or you can find me, either one. Or at Sherman Phoenix, there's a bookstore at Sherman Phoenix. They have the books in there as well too.
So I said that because, like, as soon as I saw it, I was like, Jazz did that. Like, I knew whose artwork it was, but there is a particular style signature that you have, you know, and it's not mainstream.
No.
It's not what a lot of people would say, this is contemporary African-American art. It's, you know what I'm saying? It's not necessarily that. What challenges, if any, did you face getting acceptance for your art?
I don't require any acceptance. I just accept myself. So I don't need anybody to approve me or give me approval. Like, I don't have time for that. Like, I'm here for people. That's who I'm here to serve. So, and the Lord. So.
See, that just ticked my soul, because she was like, actually, nobody, because it don't matter. And I think for you to have that level of freedom is like the epitome of what an artist really, really wants. Like, you just want to get to the point where I don't care, I create because I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, I create because I am. And so it's not about who doesn't receive me. It's not about who doesn't connect. It's about who does, and allowing that to feed me, to give me more of what I need to give those people more. So how long did it take for you to get to that point of understanding about your art and your creativity?
I was always there. I was never afraid of my art. I mean, I've been, you know, not confident in it from time to time, especially in my early start, but I've just always been that way. Like, school helped me realize this, because there was, when we were taught, the artists didn't look like me, so I couldn't relate. So I was like, okay, well, why don't I become the artist that they didn't teach me about? So, you know, that was.
So the lack of representation encouraged you to create your own lane and, like, embody what you would have wanted to see as a child.
Yeah, I mean, there were artists there, but you know, they only had one section in the book. But, you know, it'll always be 4 hours DVD watching this artist, that artist, but it was nobody like me. So I said, why don't I just become the artist that my childhood me never saw? So.
And I think that's really, really important, because representation matters. It's so very, 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 it heavily influences what we believe we can and cannot become, and what we choose to or not to do. So that being said, how can we encourage more artists of color to pursue art as a real viable option?
First, we never beg for representation because they're going to give you what they think you should have as a representation. But how it shouldn't even, it should do it on your own. If you can't see it, if you can't see that kids and people need representation, then what are you doing? You should automatically be doing this. Like, nobody should have to ask you. You should be already on the journey already. It should be an automatic. That doesn't make sense to me. If that's not your bag, so be it. But, I'm not going to shame you for not wanting to be, not saying a martyr or anything like that, but if you want to do something with your art and you want to help the community, just do it. Get out there, whether you're scared or not. But if your community means something to you, it should be no question.
I think a lot of times people are waiting for an okay, or they're waiting for, and you understand this because you understand how cliquish sometimes the arts community can be. And that's another point I want to, hit on. That's another point I want to hit on because we're in a smaller market. Okay, so it's like a lot of times when you are in a much smaller market, this person already does this, and this person already does that, and this person does this, so they're like, okay, well, we have everything we need.
Okay.
So there's no room for you. How do you effectively navigate through those kinds of situations, and how has the arts community in Milwaukee helped you to understand that?
What I've done is I network with everybody. I don't disregard anybody. Treat me as a mutual artist, and I don't pick and choose or anything like that. But other than that, I getting along with everybody, not selling yourself short, but getting along with everybody, being able to talk to everybody and not have a bias at all. Stay open, stay free, and be kind.
And be kind.
Be kind.
How about that? How about and be flipping kind?
Be kind. It's not hard. It's not hard at all. So I network with everybody. I'm cool with everybody. If anybody has an art with me, come talk to me. I'm not a drama type person. I'm very approachable. I don't think I'm a bag of chips at all with all that.
You is though.
Nah.
You is though.
No, but I'm just cool with everybody. And just be kind. Stay drama free.
Stay drama free. Girl, I'm the queen of drama free. They be like, do you exist? Yes, I do.
There you go.
You'll find me when you need to find me. So understanding the sensitivities and how fragile artists can be. What are some suggestions you have for artists who feel like they are more prone to encounter certain mental illnesses such as depression or etc. Yeah.
How they should operate with it, or
what is the way that you have been able to use your art, or that you can advise someone to use their art to help them to deal with that?
Before COVID, I always, with depression or if I was feeling sad, going to vend and selling your art helps. Being able to meet the people, even if they don't purchase your art, just people coming around, seeing your art, like, wow, and sometimes I'll give a free piece away, like a free art piece, just even if I know that a person can't afford it, just being able to, I see that you like it, go ahead. Are you sure that, you know, that brings joy? But seeing as that COVID has come around, really the only thing you can do is just virtually put your artwork out there, and people will inbox me and say, you know what, this piece inspired me. You know, this piece made me feel good. This piece made my daughter pursue drawing daffodils every day. You know, something like that. Some sort of, you know, there's a young lady named Crystal Reed, and she said, your art saves people. So if you stop doing art and you feel bad, just know that you're not helping somebody. You know, you're not saving somebody. So making your art, knowing that your art can help somebody else, can help take you out of depression and save you in the long run.
Just knowing that you're connected.
Yeah.
Knowing that there's the connection that, like, I know a lot of times you can feel like you're on an island. And a lot of times we do create very well in solitude, but to actually get out and do the art. I think that's like really, really important you said that, because when you are actually doing the art, because it's all an energy exchange, no matter what. No matter if I'm dancing, if I'm talking, if I'm doing poetry, if I'm painting, it's an energy exchange. And I'm looking to exchange this energy. And a lot of times we get stuck with the one-sided. Like, you know, I just did my art. I just did my work. I just choreographed a piece. I just, you know, recorded this, and it just stays there. And a lot of artists tend to be perfectionists too. So they'll keep their things, you know, to themselves forever. And I think part of that is something that can drive you nuts. Yeah. And like send you spiraling when no one gets to share what you're given, because this is the whole reason you do what you do. Like, you do it so that it's a gift to the world. It's a gift to yourself first, but it's a gift to the world as well. Yeah. So it's like when you can't share that, and I'm glad that you brought that up with COVID, because I think for a lot of artists that's been very, very challenging. Like, because you feel like, if I'm an artist and my purpose is my art, what the hell am I doing now? Because I can't even share my art with people. Yeah. I can't engage with them. I can't, just like, you know, the live engagement is different than online. Yeah. You know, it's like when people are coming around you and buzzing, different energies will inspire different things. Yeah. And so I think that's really important, that we make bigger efforts to do the art, you know. And I've seen recently people have started, you know, even poets will start doing I'll just do a poetry blurb, you know, 2 or 3 minutes, they'll just, you know, send out their poetry, or people will post their artwork, or they'll do more dance videos, because that desire to create is always in us. We're always gonna wanna create. And when you can't share that, it's like, it's a very horrible, shrinking feeling that you can get. And I think a lot of people don't understand that about art. It's like, we're givers. Yeah, we're innately givers. And so like when we can't give, that's like punishment. Naturally being able to engage with hugs, you know, a hug, a handshake, a fist bump, like that stuff means a lot. And it's a hard thing, you know, just, you know, having a conversation of something that's right there, you know, people standing behind you, people watching you. And it's not the attention. It's the
like
engagement,
you said,
the energy.
And to be, you can't do that. You really can't do that. And then, like you said, the whole virtual. The virtual is cute, but it's not really real to me.
Yeah, and especially when so much of what you do is based on the inspiration that's like nonverbal, that's non-specific. It's just the vibe. Yeah. It's just the vibe of the situation.
And some people, and then you have to account for those with special powers. I don't like to say special needs, but people with special powers. And I was driving the school bus and I dealt with children with special powers. So bringing my artwork onto the bus, and they'll say, "Bus driver, you did that?" I'm like, "Yeah, I did that." And so, you know, they'll talk about it. You know, even having the students who are nonverbal. I had a kid pat me on the shoulder and pointed. I said, yeah, I did that. But he's not verbal. So, you know, it sucks.
The engagement, yeah. And that was one of the biggest things for me because I'm like, I'm a hugger. I'm not giving hugs anymore. Yeah. You know, people don't want to hug me.
It's a thing.
It is a challenge, but I think what it does is it forces us to explore new ways to give.
Yes.
And explore different ways to give.
Yes.
And what is a new or different way that you have learned to give in the midst of all this specialness that we're experiencing right now?
Like I said, doing that book with Jasmine, that, you know, being able to push that, and we're able to provide the art, the representation of the skin color. And also, there are children. I did. There's the girl on Destined to Be Me book. She has vitiligo, and so, you know, to engage children with different issues, you know, including them in this book, and also teaching the children new things. There's also a glossary in the back of the book that has different words that the children can learn from. So, and then there's a coloring page in each book. So, you know, it's engagement, as you said, you know, and then different activities for the kids to have. So
how did that project come about? Because I'm just interested.
All it took was, who was that? A phone call from Jasmine. Jazz, I need you. I said, all right, let's go. And that's it.
That's pretty simple. I swear to me, like, seriously, those are the best kind of engagements. Like when you just call people and they be like, yeah, let's go. What we doing? Okay, I'll be there.
You need it? All right.
But, you know, when I was like, Jazz, we would like to interview you. She was like, yep. She was like, let's go.
Say no more. That's it. What time you need me?
So and being able to just embrace that flow as an artist, like to just be able to embrace the flow. Because so many times people tell us, you know, you got to struggle for it. You got to fight, you got to fight, you got to fight. So like being able to embrace the flow in your artistry as well, and learning to recognize that flow is so important, and it's time saving, and it's energy saving, and the product you get from it is so much more fulfilling. So when did you start to basically hone in on your own particular flow? Like, what did that look like for you? Was there an area where you felt like art is a struggle?
Yes.
Yeah.
COVID. I can't stop saying COVID. COVID. I literally stopped doing art for myself for months. And I've never had that experience before. It terrified me. I'm like, oh my gosh, am I losing my talent? And I did a project, a commission of a family portrait, big old family portrait, and I loved it. And then after that, I just didn't do anything. And then I picked up 2 commissions currently. And it was kind of long and drawn out because I couldn't find it. I couldn't find it. And just recently, something said, get your art pad out, start. And it was like 2 honing in situations. It was pre-COVID, where I was like doing all these commissions, I'm like, yeah. And then COVID. And it just emotionally messed me up. And it took a lot away from me. It was the worst feeling. But then recently, I'm like, I've gotten this far. And I was able to graduate. Thank you. I was able to graduate through COVID. Man, let me pick this pad up. And so I just started drawing. And I finished fantastic. You guys will see it soon. Duana Glosser. She's coming out with a journal planner. Please don't kill me if it's wrong. But the planner, I believe. And I've done the designs for the front of the planners. So look out for those. And a project called the Superhero Ballerina. It's going to be a book by Andrea Toms, and it's in the works. So my honing in just stepped in. So I'm ready to create. Everything's good. Be on the lookout for stuff.
Dopeness. I'm so glad you agreed to sit and talk to me and just like let us know who Jazz West is and let us know, you know, what you're doing and what you're up to and where we can find art. And I think it's so important, like, that we have these spaces, that we have murals, that we have like tangible areas where people can come and see the art, where you don't necessarily have to go to a gallery, that you're like basically everywhere. And I know you don't like to see it like that, but like you're in these books. And so that's like a piece of you, you know, that you're giving the world. And so you are a gift, you are a joy, and I appreciate you, Jasmine. And thank you so much for coming and sharing the Artist Spotlight with us. Jazz West, y'all.